After over 6 weeks of sitting here at anchor in Eastern Africa, we finally received the last package we've been waiting on, a diesel fuel management system by Keenan Filters and KTI Systems.
Having super clean fuel is always a great thing on a boat. Makes your engines run better and everything just does really well. Look at that. So this is a fuel polishing unit. There's one for the starboard side and one for the port side. And they have a fuel pump on there, so the fuel coming from the fuel tank to here, if the fuel pump went down on the engine or went down anywhere, you flip a switch that's going to be mounted up here and it just keeps pumping fuel to your engine. If your engine gets clogged and this filter clogs up, you flip a switch and it goes to this filter. You don't have to go down there and do anything. Like if you're docking the boat and all of a sudden your engine sputters, you flip a switch, turn on your pump, restart your engine, and you're rolling. Easy to bleed, change, easy to maintain. Super nice product right here. This Raycor's, that's a 10 micron Raycor filter.
Cool.
Goes right in there like that. So if I'm going along here, and this really, everything's a project in this boat.
You've had a few projects last day or two, haven't you?
I have.
Back to the ice maker.
Yes. So it's cold, but the switch that initiates the water is not kicking in, which is making me nauseous.
Mm-hmm. Keith has been working on it for about 3 days now. There's a fuel polishing unit like this one on both the port and the starboard holes for the 2 diesel tanks that we have. It took 12 man-hours for Keith and Jack to run all the wires and lines and get them both installed and all set up.
This whole thing. Ready?
All right. Oh, green light. And a beat.
Uh-oh.
Oh, what? Yellow light. It's green or yellow?
This one's not on.
That one's not working. Roll.
Purple, green, blue, and orange.
Keith reached out to his contact at KTI Systems, and they quickly walked him through exactly what needed to be done to fix the problem.
All right, so we got it working. It was there's a box down there where a little wire wasn't soldered real good, and I resoldered it, and it was just shorting out, and now it works. Everything works good.
Hey. I wish you wouldn't.
What about all the hair?
Yeah, do it outside. Don't do it right here. You're gonna have a big mess to clean up. Why are you shaving your head? You have beautiful hair.
Give me a towel.
No, Jack. Look how pretty your hair is.
I'm tired of thinking about it. I've been thinking about it too long.
Gosh.
It's just that time.
Jack. Why are y'all encouraging this? No.
You should.
Don't do it. Just sleep on it. Oh, Jack.
All right, it's done now. It'll go back.
It'll actually be helpful when you're doing BJJ because your hair always gets in your face.
Get it on the towel. Make sure it's on the towel.
And you shaved your face today. You're gonna look like a
Yeah, bro. I'm gonna be the
12-year-old.
top G. In between the ears.
Finn, you're up next.
Come here, boy.
You actually look good.
Okay, Declan, I'm gonna go jump in the water and clean this up, bro. I'll let you go.
You actually look pretty good. It doesn't look bad.
A little steel.
Yeah, you look a little younger, maybe 5 years younger.
I don't look 14.
No, that's true. It actually looks pretty good,
Are
son.
you ready? Here we go.
You're beautiful no matter what. Oh, there we go. A little hair in the water. All right, Aquarius is here now. They've been at Zanzibar for a couple of days, and they got here to Dar to get some water maker parts, and then we can leave together. Ken and Barbie. Aquarius is going to go into the Red Sea with us. They're going to go on the crossing. They'll be our buddy boat. In the next couple of weeks, we plan to sail up the coast of Somalia, staying about 300 miles offshore, round the corner of Socotra, and up to the northern end of the Red Sea, where we'll pick up our 5 new guests. We'll stop a couple of times along the way, but the entire trip should take us about 2 to 3 weeks. But until then, we have to wait for the perfect weather conditions to make this long journey. That means, for now, we just sit at anchor and relax, do boat projects, and get well provisioned. Aquarius's water maker is down, so another package we're waiting on in order to leave are their water maker parts. So in the meantime, we told them to come on over and we'd fill up their tanks. While their tanks fill, we sat down and discussed our upcoming ocean crossing.
And then we automatically get 60% or more off the side. And then you get that change.
That's almost November.
Yeah, that's almost November, but you start to see the change right around September 15th.
With a crossing like this, where we'll be sailing north for over 1,000 miles, then turning to go west another 1,000 miles, we've got to make sure the trade winds are in our favor and we won't get stuck somewhere with no wind or too much wind in the wrong direction. We also want to make sure we have a backup plan and plenty of resources if something goes wrong near the coast of some of these dangerous countries. So we study historical data and wind patterns and predictions, and then together we make a decision as to when the best time to leave will be. All right, we got their water.
Yeah.
Did you get full?
Look, laundry's already on the best proof.
Awesome.
And the boat is clean.
Awesome, you betcha. We'll send the bill in the mail.
All right. Good. Thank you. All clear.
All right.
Thanks, Zorro.
See you.
Hey, thank you.
You are the best.
You are the best. There's been others, but they've never been the best.
I know, right?
Hey guys, we are live here in Dar es Salaam. We're fixing to leave in the next 2 or 3 weeks to head up to the Red Sea. It's going to be kind of one of our more nervous passages for me because we are sailing in Hollywood waters, what I call Hollywood waters, where bad things happen on the movie screen and everybody thinks they happen in real life there. And so I'm going to answer a few questions. Number one question comes from the real Rick. Is Starlink not an option for boats yet? It is an option for boats right now. As long as you're close to the land or the continent or the location, you can get the RV package, which is $135 or $150 a month, unlimited Wi-Fi, and it's designated for a certain area. Now, as far as going across oceans with Starlink, they've come out with a ocean-going package, and that's $5,000 a month. So that's not quite in the wheelhouse for us yet. Starlink does work. We've got some friends who've got Starlink on their boat in Europe in the Med, and it's working great for them, and they're just cruising. You know, they're staying in a local area there, and so it's working really well for them. So we're thinking about getting that, but once we get in the Med, data is very cheap in the Med, so I don't know if it's worth it to do that when we get there or not, but we're going to check it out. The Real Rick, thanks for the question. And moving on. I got to put my old man glasses on, guys. I can only read for a second and then my eyes go. This is from Jeremy Russell. Did you try eating at Nando's in South Africa? Yes, we did, and we like Nando's. It was good food, good South African food, all grilled. There's no fried, nothing fried there. It's all grilled, and it's really good and hot and spicy. And we love the Nando's spicy sauces. We marinate a lot of stuff with that now on our boat. We bought a bunch of them, and they sell them all over Africa, so it's really good. Also, why did you decide not to sail around the south coast of Africa and up into the Atlantic? Number one reason is we drove down to South Africa and we saw all that South Africa had to offer. Number two, I don't like the cold water, and that water is cold in South Africa, and we like being in the water and in tropical destinations, so that's that. It's also cold in the Mediterranean, but not near as bad. We wanted to see the Red Sea, we wanted to see Egypt, we wanted to see the Gulf of Aqaba, we wanted to see Israel and Eilat and all those places like that, Jordan, Petra, all those kind of places. So this was kind of the last stop before we get back there. That's why we decided that when you get to South Africa, it's from there you're back into the Atlantic and then back over to the Caribbean and you're done. So we wanted to spend one more season in the Med, and we'll probably go pretty fast through the Med, but we want to go to Norway and some of those countries. We'll probably do a road trip up there to those. So those were on the bucket list to do if the world hasn't fallen totally apart by then. Jeremy Russell, thanks for the question. Next question is from Danilo Cardoso. I wish Keith would talk more about how successful he was, still is, and maybe how to throw in some advices. All right. You know, making money, and I'm not trying to be arrogant or narcissistic or prideful or anything like that, or bragging. Making money was always an easy thing for me to do. It was just, I always figured out what nobody else wanted to do, and then I went and did that. When everybody else was shirking their jobs or didn't like that task or didn't like doing that, I found that I'll just go do what nobody else wants to do. I'll do the hard stuff, and then I'll figure out how to get people to do the hard stuff for me, and I'll pay them well to do that. And it just, it just kept going. I mean, in the world today, trades, tradecraft, trades, and all that stuff are in dire need. College-educated people are not in need, but people who have good trade crafts, people who are very good at being electricians, plumbers, anything where you can manage and you know how to lead men and you know how to be a solution provider to your client, to your employer, is very important. And so finding something that you can become good at that nobody else wants to do, which is very easy. There are so many trades, mechanics, diesel mechanics, welding. There's so many trades out there where you can make a lot of money and build a business around it. So, that's where I would go, because I never went to college, and everybody I know that went to college worked for me. I mean, they all got educated, and they learned how to go to work for a guy like me. That's just my thought on making money. Always be a solution provider for your employer. Always treat your employer like he's your client, like he's the one who hired you, which he is, but treat him like a client instead of an employer. Be a solution provider for them. So thank you for that, Danilo. I hope that helps out. And moving right along, Sherry Dolph. Seems like they never run out of cash. Where does the money come from? Well, I married rich. I married super rich. My wife had more money. Well, the reality of it is, Sherry, is we have a cash tree. They grow them in certain places in the world, and when you find one, you need to take care of it. It's like a unicorn. You feed it, you study it, you keep it alive, and you don't ever let it die or wilt. I saved money. Bottom line is I saved my money, and I'm not a bazillionaire. Elon Musk, he does call me for advice from time to time. No, I saved money. I worked hard. Me and Renee worked really hard, and we built companies up, and we sold those companies, and we have money from that. We make a little money from YouTube. We make a little money from sponsorships. We make a little money from the business side of YouTube and social media. But our wealth was generated by me working in trenches, working in the oil and gas business, doing hard work, 100 hours a week for over 26 years. Lots of stress, lots of risk, and living like a pauper and not spending my money, and not my cost of living didn't go up when I made more money. What do they call it? Cost of living inflation, or lifestyle inflation. You start making more money, so you start buying nicer cars, nicer houses. That's called lifestyle inflation. I didn't subscribe to that model. Instead, I lived small. I tried to live small for a long time. I lived in a double wide trailer house until I was 31 years old and had a wife and kids, and everybody asked me, why are you living in a double wide trailer house? Because I didn't need anything else. I'm not an egomaniac. I don't need big fancy boats. I don't need shiny Ferraris. I'm not a guy who gets off on impressing people by that kind of stuff. You know, when I want to impress people, I take my shirt off, and that can get people's attention in a hurry. I'm telling you. You ought to see the jaws drop. I've never seen it happen before like I do now, but it's spectacular. Anyway, I saved my money. Me and Renee worked hard. We took risks, and we saved our money. And we could spend ourselves broke. We don't have unlimited money. We are on a budget out here. It doesn't seem like we're on a budget, but we are on a budget. We spend anywhere from $50,000 to $75,000 a year out here on the water. That's what it takes us to live. We don't have a house to take care of. You guys have seen that we do go home to Montana every once in a while to the ranch. That takes that place pays for itself because I lease out the land to cattle ranchers, and that pays for the stuff up there. But basically, the only money we spend is right here on our boat and food and stuff like that. And you can see that we spend a lot of money on food. It's pretty healthy times here. Great question, and moving right along. Next one is from Rich Wadka. Not vodka, Wadka. Anna left the boat when she was 18, went off to college. If Kate or Finn wanted to go back to land life, would you let them go stay with a family member, or would you halt the voyage for a bit to let them experience that part of life? Well, that's a great question, Rich, and I tell you, we would not allow them to go back to land at the age they are right now. The way the world is right now, when people can't even tell you what a woman is, or can't tell you what a man is, that crazy insanity that's going on in public schools and in universities, the normalizing of mental illnesses in our country, I would never allow my children to be in that environment. They're going to get introduced to that soon enough, and hopefully me and Renee have given them the weapons in their minds to be strong enough not to fall prey to this insanity going on in our world. And we just wouldn't allow it. They get plenty of, it's been tough 2 years since COVID. I'll give you that. We hadn't had the social interaction we'd liked. Once we got here to Africa, Finn's had a girlfriend here for the last 6 weeks. Jack's been doing jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and he's teaching me and Mom some moves. We're using those at night on each other. Sometimes in the bedroom, I get her in a headlock. She gets me in a... Anyway, so no, that was a good question, and no, we're not letting our kids go back to that. I'll influence my kids until they're 18 years old. I'll teach them what I think is right. Up is up, down is down. A man is a man, and a woman is a woman. I'm not going to let my kids be indoctrinated to that crap. It pisses me off. I'll get fired up thinking about it. So I'm sorry if I'm offending a lot of you people out there. In my world, a man is a man and a woman is a woman, and that's the way it is. The next question is... Retired 123. Are y'all going to stop sailing if the kids leave the boat when they are adults? I don't think so. Me and Renee, we're getting we're going to take a break for sure. We're looking forward to having a little time to ourselves. We love our children, and we won't be without them for long. But we're definitely going to take a little break, but we're probably going to start sailing and going across the Atlantic again, or the Pacific again, and going up to Mexico and just spending more time in certain places and just relaxing as we get old. Renee's really blossoming into an elderly lady. I'm getting younger, as you can see. I look like I'm 25. I mean, a wadded up 25, but 25. Anyway, no, I don't think we're going to quit sailing. It could happen, but I don't think we will. I think we're going to continue to explore. We get scared. Me and Renee will sit around talking, and we get scared of thinking, what would our life be like without adventure? I mean, it just scares us to death. I get scared to death thinking if I went back and lived in a suburban neighborhood, we'd be happy for about 2 or 3 months while we had all the conveniences of life. We get so bored and we think, well, what are we doing? Why ain't we doing something? And so that's that. All right, Bobby Peckle. How did the Nemo scrubber work out? I tell you what, I like that Nemo scrubber. Unfortunately, we haven't got to use it a lot yet. We're fixing to use them a bunch here in the next week or two, and I will let you know on that. But I tried them out under the boat. Oh my gosh, that thing will take it off. It's a great little tool to have, and the only reason I'm hesitant to use it here where we're at is because the water's pretty murky, and if I drop it, I'm probably not going to be able to find it. And I don't really want to tie a tether around it because if that tether gets wrapped up around that brush, it could wrap everything up and lock down or do something like that. So I'm still working on that and trying to figure that out, but I like it. It will clean the boat. I mean, it's slick, it's quick, and I do like it, but I haven't got a real opportunity to really hammer down on it. And once we get to some shallow, clear water, I'm going to use that thing. We're going to film it. We're going to show you exactly how that bad boy works. And that wraps it up for this week's Q&A. Thanks for watching the show. If you like what you're seeing, click the subscribe button, click that like button, click the little bell. It'll let you know when I've got more junk coming your way or Renee's got stuff coming your way. And as always, I look forward to seeing you guys out here on the water.